A sensational Sunday night in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and a matchup worthy of a championship. It's the title game of the 2014 Puerto Rico tip-off, a matchup of former conference foes in the old Big East. The 17th ranked Huskies of Connecticut riding a 9-game winning streak, battling the West Virginia Mountaineers coming in at 4-0. The Huskies led by their senior star, Ryan Boatwright, who has been as advertised thus far, averaging 21 points a game, including 20 in UConn's semifinal win against Dayton. West Virginia has a star guard of their own in preseason Big 12 Player of the Year, Juwan Staten. He helped the Mountaineers come back from a double-digit deficit against Boston College to reach the Puerto Rico tip-off title game. He's averaging 14.5 in 4 contests this year. And it's been an entertaining few days of Hoops in Paradise. We've promised you a lot of top-tier guard play. We've had it. And also an abundance of highlight reel dunks, which have led us to UConn versus West Virginia. Inside Coliseo Roberto Clemente, we're glad you're with us for this championship game alongside LaFonso Ellis. I'm Rich Hollenberg. And Fonz, UConn has the attention of the national college basketball scene courtesy of their national championship a year ago. West Virginia, however, struggled last year. A very Bob Huggins-like team, not so much. This year, totally different. They've turned a few heads already.
West Virginia has come to this island to make a point. They're my sleeper team this year in the Big 12. Bob Huggins finally has the length, the athleticism, and the depth to be able to pressure you for 40 minutes. Look to see how UConn can handle that pressure tonight.
We've talked about these two guards already. We'll be talking about them all night long. A couple Wendy's Wooden Award watch candidates in Ryan Boatwright and Juwan Staten going head-to-head.
Ryan Boatwright, one of the most difficult guys to guard off the bounce, can score it in a variety of ways, from the perimeter, mid-range, to the cup, a willing passer as well. Juwan Staten doesn't shoot as many from the three. He does his damage 15 and in. Excellent pull-up jumper and can get to the rack.
Two of the top guards in all the nation, and here's your starting lineups. First for the UConn Huskies, we already mentioned Ryan Boatwright. He's joined by freshman sensation Daniel Hamilton in the backcourt, along with Rodney Purvis, Kenton Facey, and Amita Bryma. And for the West Virginia Mountaineers, you heard about number 3, Juwan Staten. It's a 3-guard rotation for Bob Huggins, Jayshawn Page and Daxter Miles Jr. in the backcourt. A couple of big bullies up front in Jonathan Holton and Devin Williams. And there's Bob Huggins, his 8th season at his alma mater in Morgantown, the 3rd winningest active coach in Division I men's college basketball. Coming in, the total stands at 744 victories in his 33 seasons as head coach. And Kevin Ollie, already a national title under his belt in his 3rd season with the Huskies, the 12th man to win an NCAA title as head coach for his alma mater, and the 1st since Roy Williams did it at UNC back in 2009. And we already mentioned it's an old Big East matchup, Fonz. These two teams, they go way back, but it's been dominated by UConn.
Indeed, and you know Bob Huggins is aware of that. And folks, you watching tonight, buckle up, because you're about to see some up and down action. West Virginia's going to pressure UConn 94 feet, and when they get in the half court, they're going to look to disrupt as well. Let's see if UConn handles that pressure early. They should be able to do it with 3 guards on the floor for the UConn Huskies.
There's the love between 2 guards, Kevin Ollie, the head coach, Ryan Boatwright, the senior starter. Ironically enough, they both share the same birthday, December 27th, just 20 years apart. This is a UConn team that is brimming with talent and confidence. Their one question mark is, how deep can these Huskies be? They win the opening tip in their road Navy uniforms. It's UConn, it's West Virginia for the Puerto Rico tip-off championship.
Interested to see how West Virginia handles the ball screens with Boatwright handling it.
And here's Holton with the first turnover of the game. And the foul. Jonathan Holton starts off with a bang.
Right off the top, and we said it in the open, how will UConn handle the pressure in the half court and the full court as West Virginia? Bob Huggins has some long, athletic guys now who can get up and pressure, and they will steal and look to steal that reversal pass. Nice job by Holton here early.
Holton, a 6'7", 220-pound junior JUCO transfer, has the first 3 points of the game, and get used to seeing this. Full court, 40-minute pressure from Bob Huggins' club.
Without a doubt, they've not been able to do that. This is the way Bob Huggins has wanted to play for years, but he finally has the length, the athleticism, and the bench depth to be able to do it. He wants to come after you in waves.
And a whistle from Tom Eads, your lead official. We've got a foul, and it's going to be on West Virginia.
I think that's on Daxter Miles Jr., number 4 in white.
Number 1 Holton at the head of that press. They get it up court to Boatwright. Boatwright looking to initiate contact right off the bat.
He is so elusive.
Hamilton. Think we're in for a fun night, partner?
Oh, indeed. You got to find Daniel Hamilton. He's shooting 75% from the three-point line here in this tournament. If I would go right at Brima, trying to get him in some early foul trouble, because if you can get him out of the game, now you don't have a rim protector and they can get to the rim.
Miles off the curl. He has 2. And here's Purvis, who missed the 2-hand slam. And Purvis came up gimpy as well. That went from being a highlight to a low light in a hurry for Kevin Ollie.
Yeah, not quite sure what happened to Rodney Purvis, because he's a guy who can really attack and transition and can really elevate. I think he looked out the corner of his eye and he saw number 5 in white, Devin Williams, kind of bearing down on him and took his eye off the basket.
Well, the positive sign early for UConn. 2 times down the floor, they've been able to handle and break that West Virginia pressure.
Well, they're throwing it over the top because the first wave is all below the free throw line.
State calls his own number. They count the hoop. Jonathan Holton again. His second shot at a 3-point play, and we're not even 2 minutes into the game.
And folks, that's another advantage for West Virginia. They have dominated the offensive glass in this tournament. They've out-rebounded teams on the offensive glass 39-18 in this tournament. For UConn, they really get after you. They double-team the basketball, and what happens is, because of the heavy pressure that's in the lane, it creates gaps to be able to go down to get to the offensive glass. That's an area that West Virginia may be able to exploit the entire night.
Now Sam Cassell Jr., number 10 in blue, in for UConn. He has the ball. And they're going to get the freshman Hamilton for the traveling violation.
And that's what the pressure can do to you, force you to play more quickly than you want. Sometimes it leads to a live ball turnover that you can take advantage of in transition. Sometimes it's an unforced error, as you saw there.
There's Juwan State, averaging 14.5 coming in. Inside, Williams all alone. Met at the rim by Brima. Great recovery by the sophomore center.
You catch that rock down there, you got to go quickly, or you have to go through Brima's chin. It neutralizes the ability of a shot blocker when you do it that way.
They switch out. 10 on the shot clock.
The back door is open because of the heavy overplay. That should be a 5-second call.
And it is. That's the 3rd UConn turnover in the first 3 minutes of play.
And that's exactly what the pressure is designed to do. You want a guy handling the basketball out in the front that's not used to it. Facey's not used to handling the basketball out on the floor, and he panicked against the pressure. West Virginia doing a terrific job of playing the passing lanes and overplaying. Down the ball screen with Juwan State. Juwan's going to have to step in and take that little 15-foot jump shot, knock it down.
Holton steps out. He can knock that shot down. Missed that one. And they say Devin Williams stepped on the line, so it'll be UConn basketball.
I tell you, the referee's allowing them to play a little bit tonight. It's a little chippy out there early, and we're only at the 17:35 mark in the first half.
Tom Eads, Jerry Pollard, Antonio Petty, they've been around the block once or twice. Those are our officials for tonight's championship tilt.
Once they get UConn to the second level on the ball, wow, that is amazing pressure by UConn. You see how long they are? You literally can't see, and that's a disadvantage that UConn has, is their guards are small. They can't see over the top.
17:29 to go. Settle in, West Virginia, with a 5-point lead over the defending national champs. West Virginia up 5. UConn trailing 8-3, 17:29 to go. And to make matters worse, Rodney Purvis came up injured on an attempted dunk that he missed, and he has not checked back into the game. And as of right now, he's going back to the trainer's room.
Now you have to attack. You're 2-on-1, 3-on-2s on the backside once you get through that first wave. Hey!
Hamilton, Malad, Grima, and they're going to get Devin Williams with the push. That was a very mature move for the freshman Hamilton.
Yeah,
Shot
really.
fake, get the lob to the rim.
Well, he's so crafty. He's been one of the freshmen that I've been so impressed with early in this season. He plays with such a poise, and he's got all the skills.
Here's Boatwright, first shot of the game, short on the long jumper. Offensive rebound facing, and he uses the rim as the protector.
Love how patient he was when he got that offensive rebound. Panicked early about 3 possessions ago. Out on the floor, he shows where his comfort zone is around the rim.
Here's State, steps back and knocks it down. First 2 for the captain.
And that's that little pocket jump shot that I was talking about earlier. It's available to State because they're trying to keep him to 1/3 of the floor on the left side with side ball screens.
UConn again able to navigate through the full court pressure of the Mountaineers.
Dribble penetration, and you have to know that West Virginia's coming. The kick will be available for open shots on the weak side. That's an offensive foul. He hooked it.
And Jerry Pollard whistles the kick ball.
Should have been an offensive foul on Sam Cassell Jr. He used that right arm to hook him coming off.
We've watched Sam a couple of games already. He might not look like his dad, but he plays like his dad. He plays an old man's kind of basketball game, doesn't he?
I tell you, he walks like him, he even shoots like him. It is amazing. His dad used to torture us, boy, both when he played for the Milwaukee Bucks and when he was down with the Houston Rockets.
Boatwright and Staten. Doesn't get much better than that. There's the double team. Good hands by Holton.
And that is smart defensive play by Bob Huggins. Again, the disadvantage for UConn is Boatwright is small. That's Jonathan Holton, who's 6'8" with long arms that they're bringing to double. It's clear right now that they're trying to keep the basketball out of Boatwright's hands so he's not attacking in the half court.
Rodney Purvis has made his way back to the UConn bench, trying to stretch out that left foot. We've got a foul on the floor.
Purvis is returning.
Foul's going to go on Jayshawn Page. And good news for UConn. Here comes number 44 back in the game, Rodney Purvis. Transferred over from NC State, one of the better athletes you're going to see on the basketball floor tonight.
Yeah, UConn's got to go back door or throw it back to the screener when they're setting ball screens. He's wide open.
Boatwright for 3. Off. Williams snares the rebound.
And after talking to associate head coach Larry Harrison for West Virginia last night, they'll let them take those 3-point shots. They just don't want UConn attacking the lane.
State again.
Another pocket J from Jawan State.
All alone, Purvis from the corner. Too strong. Holton clears.
Not a good shot coming off the bench, and you haven't got a chance to go up and down a little bit to recreate that lather.
There's Williams. He's a beast underneath there, but he's met by another one in Grima. Here's Hamilton behind the back. Hello.
He is silky smooth.
An entertaining 5 minutes gone by in the Puerto Rico Tip-Off Championship. West Virginia up 5 with the ball.
Yeah, Devin Williams got to look to turn and face and shoot it over the top to keep Grima honest.
There's Miles off the mark. Purvis chases it down, and he was out of bounds. Timeout on the floor with 14:43 to go. We're already getting our money's worth.
Amita Grima blocking it on one end, and Silk is smooth in transition. Daniel Hamilton.
So put them hands up higher. Let's smash this party up. This is the blast off. Time to blow this off.
Some company. Live your own 5-vacation story in Puerto Rico, the All-Star Island. And Gildan. We make your favorite activewear, underwear, and socks. At Gildan, every thread counts.
14:43 to go from San Juan, Puerto Rico. A championship on the line. West Virginia leading 17th ranked UConn by a score of 12-7. Take us inside the play.
Right now, UConn is trying to ice the ball screener here and trying to keep Jawan Staten on the left side of the floor there. Watch as the ball screen comes. See how he adjusts his angle there to try to turn him back to the baseline. These little pocket J's for Jawan Staten will be open all night long. And you're wondering how he's getting clean looks? That's how. He's stepping inside of that little pocket there and stopping and raising, which is the strength of his game.
West Virginia ball with the lead. Our first look at number 2 in white, Javon Carter, who had himself a career night on Friday night in the semifinals with 15 points. Elijah Macon is checked in too. He misses his first shot.
I'll refer to it quite a bit tonight. That's the Bryma factor.
Here's Hamilton with the pull-up. He has been as advertised. Nice touch by Staten.
As you speak of as advertised, he's not only got that little pull-up J in the gap, but he can really get to the front of the rim.
High off the glass on that one, and he wanted the foul too. Bryma got himself in some bad real estate there underneath the basket.
Yeah, but that was a great cut by Rodney Purvis. We said because of the heavy overplay of West Virginia, those back cuts would be available. And he did what he should. The defensive player, the big, stepped up there. In that case, Elijah Macon. And once that defender steps up, you should give it up. Bryma's got to dunk that basketball as soon as he catches it.
So in the backcourt for Bob Huggins now, we talked about the depth of this West Virginia team. It's number 14 in white, Gary Brown, the San Juan, Puerto Rico native, along with Javon Carter.
With Bryma out of the game, if I'm West Virginia, I'm going to try to throw it inside and try to attack the rim. They don't have a rim protector in the game right now.
There's Williams pulling his way to the basket. Much to the chagrin of this UConn crowd.
Every time down the floor, throw it inside or allow the bigs to drive it to the rim. There's no rim protection right now for UConn.
Samuel. Gary Brown rips the rebound for West Virginia.
There'll be some early opportunities getting back in transition. West Virginia should look to attack, even in their secondary break.
Blocked by Hamilton. He's doing a little of everything so far. Samuel, out to Purvis. Too strong. Offensive board, Facey, up and in. 4 points for Kenton Facey, the sophomore out of Jamaica.
I tell you, I've been really impressed with Kenton Facey throughout this tournament when he catches it around the rim. Quick moves, and he jumps so quickly off the floor. His future is bright for the Huskies. I think they should go right back to Devin Williams with Bryma out of the game to let him go.
Here's the pick and roll. Williams taken away. Up ahead, Samuel. And one.
When you have someone in transition that way, you cannot give up this basket. Jonathan Holton has got to grab the basketball before his arms start their upward motion there. Shouldn't have given that up because they've been playing really well up to this point. You don't want to give a UConn team some confidence because their guards can really score the basketball.
Well, we've seen teams wilt under this West Virginia pressure in the early part of this season. UConn, no such thing. They have held up to that pressure.
Well, there's 2 things you have to do against this pressure. You can't allow West Virginia to be able to get second chance opportunities at the backboard. Over the last 3 or 4 minutes, they've not done that, UConn. And secondly, you have to not turn that basketball over and give yourself a chance. Daniel Hamilton has been brilliant here early, showing an array of offensive skills for UConn.
And Fonz, we talked about depth maybe being an issue for UConn. Well, it's become more of an issue tonight because we just found out before the game, these 4 players suspended. Omar Calhoun wasn't going to play. He's injured. Rakeem Lubin, though, would have provided depth off the bench in this contest. Dan Guest and Marcel Lewis are end-of-the-bench guys. They probably wouldn't have seen times anyway, but they violated team rules, suspended from this game, so they will not be in action.
I love the culture that Kevin Ollie has continued to carry over from Jim Calhoun. Hey, you make a mistake, you're going to pay for it, and I commend him for doing it. We should see it a lot more across the NCAA.
Terrence Samuel, a 6'4" sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York. Can't complete the three-point play. Number 10 in white, or number 11 in white, checked that. Nathan Adrian is checked in for Bob Huggins.
Wow, full court pressure here from UConn. And I don't know why that is throughout the years. Teams that pressure sometimes don't handle pressure very well, and that was a good indicator of that right there.
Maybe a little freshman mistake from the freshman Javon Carter.
I think it was the perfect call from Kevin Ollie with Jawan Staten out of the game right now. I think you can rattle a few of these West Virginia guards, and UConn may be able to turn those into transition points.
Counting down to 12 minutes to go in the first half. Picked off by Carter. That's got to be a kick ball. Both teams trying to set the pace in the early going. 11:58 to go, and we've got a good one from San Juan. It's West Virginia 16, UConn 13. Well, a great crowd on hand to witness UConn and West Virginia in the Puerto Rico Tip-Off Championship. West Virginia up 3 with 11:58 to go. What's Fonz's focus for tonight?
Well, West Virginia has dominated teams on the offensive glass. Sometimes their best offense is a second chance shot, and then points in the paint for UConn. They love to put that basketball on the deck with the ball screens, dribble handoffs, and get into the crease. And whoever wins that battle is the team that's going to win this game. Right now, with the lineup out there on the floor, when UConn has the basketball, I think they have to get it to Daniel Hamilton. There is no way the front line from West Virginia can guard him in a one-on-one situation.
So even though they're down 3, advantage UConn in terms of Fonz's focus, at least in the early going. We'll keep track of that as the game wears on. Williams thought about it, double clutched, missed it. Hamilton the rebound. He's stuffing the stat sheet already. But that was an errant pass by the freshman from Los Angeles.
And with freshmen, they're going to make some mistakes along the way, but make no mistake about it, Daniel Hamilton is an outstanding talent. He can score it in a variety of ways on the floor. He has three-point range. He's an excellent passer. And what we've seen already from him, a willing defender. He's already blocked 1 shot in this game.
He's one of 6 siblings, the youngest of those 6 siblings, and 3 of them played major Division I college basketball.
Well, the young fella coming from California he only brought a little light jacket to UConn. Not a good idea. That kid's got to get him a big coat. See, right now, I think Devin Williams has to go inside and take advantage of his strength with Nolan out there on the floor.
Elijah Macon wanted it too. Nice little high-low between Williams and Macon, and Williams cleans it up.
There's that offensive rebound factor that we talked about. They sent 4 guys to the offensive glass, West Virginia. And so if UConn can get the basketball, they can have numbers in transition.
Hamilton, air ball on the 3.
Shot that one a little quick.
Miles leaves it for State. Miles pulls the trigger.
Dexter Miles Jr. was huge in the semifinal game. Came off and give this team a huge lift with 10 points. So UConn's going to have to find him on the floor, not give him any easy open opportunities, force him to be a driver.
We've got a foul on the floor, and you see that every time Rodney Purvis has a chance, he's wincing.
Yes.
That left foot is bothering him.
Yeah, I can't really tell. It's almost as if he jammed his ankle because he's walking a little gingerly out there. And folks, right now, West Virginia is doing a tremendous job of keeping the basketball out of Ryan Boatwright's hands.
More substitutions for Bob Huggins. Jaysean Page back in the game. Going to be another West Virginia foul.
Yeah, I thought the little fella got away with a little hook on that one.
That's the first first personal foul on number 12, Tariq Phillip, sophomore out of Brooklyn, New York. Phil Nolan, number 1 in blue, is in for Kevin Ollie. Boatwright to Cassell. Ryan Boatwright gets so much attention that he leaves his teammates open.
Well, we said earlier, UConn has to get dribble penetration to force that West Virginia to have 2 guys playing 1, and it'll open up opportunities in that weak side corner.
Staten feeling it. 8 points for Jawan Staten. Once again, UConn handling the West Virginia pressure. Nolan
worked on his hook shots this summer.
Nice move by Phil Nolan. Added 20 pounds of weight in the offseason too. That helped him.
He showed it on that little back down there. Nicely done. I'd love to see kids working on their game and get to see the fruit of their efforts live action. See, I think right now UConn's going to have to change their coverage. They've been down in it trying to keep Jawan Staten on those side ball screens to one side. He's been drilling those little pocket J's. They may want to send him to the center of the floor and try to get the basketball out of his hands because he has torched them from that mid-range spot.
Well, I'll tell you, from watching Jawan Staten this week like we have, he's playing with a little extra swag tonight, don't you think?
Oh, I said to you, if I'm either him or Devin Williams, is I've heard so much about these UConn guards and their bigs on the interiors. I want to test them and see what it's like early.
Here he is again, short this time. Samuel.
Ice and take it. Got a big, he can't guard him out there.
It's a mismatch, and that's the first 2 of the night for Ryan Boatwright, the preseason player of the year in the American Conference.
And see, Kevin Ollie with his NBA background would look to try to find those mismatches on the floor. Nice job by Ryan Boatwright, recognizing he had a big and took him.
UConn is within 2. Nice lead. Williams again. 6 points for Devin Williams, the sophomore out of Cincinnati.
Smart play by Jay-Sean Page.
Boatwright, they wave it off. These 2 teams are playing in November like they think it's March.
Look at the drive here inside, and you know Brima is coming, and so you have to become a facilitator once you get in the lane against a prolific shot blocker. But you also got to give some credit to Devin Williams of recognizing that and coming to the basketball. That is beautiful execution by West Virginia in the half court.
Here's Boatwright. A rare miss from the free throw line for Ryan Boatwright. 91% free throw shooter.
Yeah, that is unusual, but he has really taken the mantle of leadership this year. He even gathered all the guys during the summer to make sure that they are all on the same page, trying to repeat as national champions.
Picked off. Phillip leads the break. Oh, it's a push! And Phillip gets the 2. Back to a 6-point West Virginia lead. Intercepted by Williams. How about that for a step through?
Big fella. Wow.
We have another timeout on the floor. Devin Williams with the interception. He'll go to the line when we come back. Mountaineers up 6. West Virginia leads UConn 26-20, 7:58 to go in the first half. A familiar face from UConn's past and also a terrific NBA player in his own right. That's Rip Hamilton in Puerto Rico to cheer on his alma mater. And he has been a vocal supporter of this UConn team, specifically Rodney Purvis, who once he transferred to this UConn program has had more than one important conversation with Rip Hamilton. Unfortunately for Purvis, he's going back to the locker room to get that foot checked out.
Wow, that's a big loss for UConn, because you talk about a guy who can really beat you out in transition. He's starting to knock down that 3-ball as well. Another guy who can beat you off the bounce. That is a huge loss for the Huskies.
Here's Devin Williams at the line. A 73% free throw shooter coming in. And he misses the first. He had 3 double-doubles to start the season.
Yeah, strong, powerful inside, and can drive it. He really improved as the season progressed last year with 3 straight double-doubles to end the season. He's gotten off to a terrific start this year.
1 for 2 for Williams. He has 7.
Rich, I think that may be the first time ever I've heard a horn or horns blowing here in a basketball game. Must be down at the islands, huh? UConn has to be careful. They've already committed 8 turnovers early in this game that have led to 9 points.
That's another kick ball by Phillip this time. It'll be a UConn ball side out. Sam Cassell Jr. will trigger the inbounds.
UConn has to get some dribble penetration to get down in the gap to create some shots.
Right short, wanted contact. They look inside to Holton. Again.
Macon has to look to make that little 15-footer to keep Brahma honest.
And Page, an open 3 in front of the UConn bench. Holton grabs the loose ball.
Got numbers if they can get it.
It's an 8-0 West Virginia run. And it should have been 10-0.
Perfect pass, missed the dunk.
Well, now we're all even in missed dunks.
Indeed. Again, the backdoor opportunities are available for UConn. They have to take advantage of it. West Virginia is really overplaying. Wow, beautifully done.
Samuel to Brima for the alley-oop. First 2 of the game for Amita Brima.
West Virginia's defense is so extended. The backdoor opportunities are open. UConn has to take advantage of them.
Fade away from Staten, no good, but Holton is there with the offensive rebound and the putback.
West Virginia is dominating UConn on the offensive glass.
Here's the steal. Holton again. Back-to-back buckets for number 1 in white, Jonathan Holton. He's in double digits with 10, and it's timeout UConn. West Virginia has their largest lead of the game, Fonz. How have they done it?
Yeah, what's happening is the bigs have to come up the floor and become pressure release guys. And normally you want about 15 feet of spacing between you, the receiver, and the passer. You can't do that against West Virginia because they're so long, quick, and athletic. They jump in the gaps. The bigs have to get up the floor, especially someone like Brima, who you can just throw it up over to at the top, and then you can get your guards running on the side and get some easy opportunities at the rim. UConn has really struggled against this full court pressure, and it's confounding to me because they have 4 guards at times on the floor at once.
Rodney Purvis is back on the UConn bench. Still not sure as to whether or if we will see him again. Talked to Ricky Moore, one of the assistant coaches for Kevin Ollie, and another former UConn guard. He said the number 1 thing they had to do was take care of the ball tonight against this West Virginia pressure. So far, they haven't been able to do that.
West Virginia's been forcing 23 turnovers per game. There you go. He'll drive the kick.
Sell for 3. Samuel picks up the trash and puts it in. That's 4 points for Terrence Samuel. West Virginia looking to make a statement. 2 for 2 from long range for Jay-Sean Page.
West Virginia's doing a beautiful job of dribble penetrating, forcing 2-1, and making the extra pass.
How about the steal from Phillip? And Jawan Staten's going to go to the line and shoot. And there's some jawing going on right now between Ryan Boatwright and Jay-Sean Page.
Well, I said to you coming into this game, West Virginia, they've heard a lot about UConn and how tough they can be. West Virginia is here to make a statement that they are now back. Bob Huggins has put together a physical, long, athletic, and deep team, and they want to show that they belong on the national stage.
One thing you would have to figure is Jaysean Page will not get the benefit of the doubt from the officials going up against a veteran like Ryan Boatwright. Nevertheless, it's Juwan Staten at the free throw line, shooting 2. The pressure the last few minutes has really gotten to these UConn Huskies. Staten, an 83% free throw shooter, knocks down his first attempt of the night. He has 9 points, and that's just another thing that you would expect from senior leaders like Boatwright and like Staten. They're both really good with the basketball in their hands late in games, and they can knock down free throws, so you trust them.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, who better, few better in the country that you'd want to have in short clock situations or at end of the game. Those two guys, boy, they can get in the gaps, they can make the open shot, and we've already seen their willingness to make the extra pass.
10 points for Staten. It's back up to a 15-point West Virginia lead. Samuel in the middle. Nice lead for Cassell. Foul call.
That's a nice job by UConn. Again, when you get past the first wave of that heavy pressure in the backcourt, your mentality has to be to attack the rim. They need to do it more consistently, and we've not seen that on a consistent basis in the first half.
Sam Cassell Jr., 6'4" redshirt sophomore out of Baltimore. He has 4 points. He's now 8 for 10 from the free throw line in the early part of this season.
Sam Cassell Jr., first-team JUCO All-American, originally committed to Maryland, but didn't get through the NCAA clearinghouse, and he's a valuable gift for UConn.
And they're going to get Bryma with the foul, and that's something to keep an eye on.
Well, Bryma and Holton actually had a few words right there. Bryma actually got him off of him with a little elbow, so it is really chippy out there between these two teams.
So Bryma's whistled for his first personal.
Well, and that's just a fact for UConn. Bryma cannot get in foul trouble because it changes the complexion of this team defensively completely.
Rodney Purvis back in for the Huskies.
He's still kind of hopping a little bit on that left ankle as I'm watching him getting back here.
There's Phillip. And we're going to have an offensive foul, and it's going to be on number 1, Jonathan Holton. That's Holton's second. And the fouls don't really affect Bob Huggins' club as much as they would Kevin Ollie's club, because West Virginia can run 8, 9, 10 guys
That's
out
right.
of town any given night.
Agreed. Yet with Holton is the guy, he plays the rover, which is the guy who's guarding the person out of bounds, and we've seen his length and athleticism affect the inbound passes from UConn, and so it's a little different when you have Nathan Adrian, number 11, at the front of that press versus Holton.
Another ugly turnover caused by the West Virginia pressure. We've seen Daniel Hamilton do some special things.
Yeah.
We have to remind ourselves he is still a freshman.
Yeah, he had 5 turnovers early. I think that's 6 or 7 right now.
State. Oh, and they call it. Tom Eads gets him for carrying.
That's his setup move right there. That little skip and hesitation dribble. Got his hands halfway underneath that basketball, and that's a good call.
And Bob Huggins is giving Tommy Eads the business. Those two go way back. He's saying, you owe me one. Here's the lob. Bryma again. Hamilton the assist. Bryma the throwdown.
We've said it over and over in this half. When they get past that first wave, you must attack. That was beautiful execution there against the pressure.
Williams, talk about looking for contact.
Yeah. That's a good call there.
Offensive foul on Devin Williams.
talked to head of officials John Adams about that very same play. And this year, one of the things that the referees are going to be looking at are offensive players dislodging defensive players. That's a great call there.
And I don't know if this is part of the game plan or not, but everybody is John with Ryan Boatwright tonight. Just saw number 12, Tariq Phillips, going at it.
Hey!
Ryan met at the rim. Samuel goes up strong, comes up empty.
Yeah, like I said, when Reimer catches that basketball around the rim, he's got to go dunk it. There's no one out there who can keep him from dunking that basketball around the rim. West Virginia's pressure has been relentless, and even when you've beaten it and gotten into the full court, that second wave coming up behind, you have to be so careful. I still have been really surprised that UConn's not been able to handle this pressure with 4 guards on the floor.
And we have an official timeout whistled by Tom Eads.
I think
he was looking at the shot clock. Yep.
Started before the ball came in bounds.
Bob Huggins, 61 years old. Told me he feels great after hip surgery this past June. With that being said, I think the doctors insisted that he have a stool set next to him on the bench, a stool that we have not seen him use very often during the Puerto Rico tip-off.
I'd say 2 or 3 times at the very most.
2 coaches who coach their kids up hard, but love them hard afterwards, too.
Well said.
There's Boatwright, little step back. There's Ryan Boatwright, and again, he's asking for a foul, and he is John with Tariq Phillips.
I think the refs are going to have to get that under control, because that's exactly when little fights begin out there on the floor. They have to control the basketball game.
That's the 6th turnover by West Virginia. A 10-point lead for the Mountaineers, 39-29 over the defending national champs.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Cialis.
Steve Weissman back in studio. Coming up on the Land Rover halftime report. We knew Kentucky was good, but they did something today for the first time in nearly 2 decades. And Miami plays Charlotte later tonight. Jeff Goodman going to break down what makes their backcourt so special. For now, back to San Juan. Rich and Fonz.
Thank you, Steve. Well, the battle for Atlantis gets underway on Wednesday, and the field is loaded with top 25 teams like Wisconsin, ranked 3rd, North Carolina, number 6, 8th ranked Florida, and 18th ranked Oklahoma. The championship game on Friday at 4:30 on ESPN. Part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. And don't look now, but the game we're calling right now might very well impact the tournament, because West Virginia was not a tournament team last year, and they look like one this year.
Without a doubt, and they've come in with an edge, but Boatwright is a little chippy out there. Watch him as he's talking to Tariq Phillips all the way up the floor. Yeah, that's going on. You used to know it. I think a little of that Midwest New York thing is going on right now. The referee's going to have to get that under control, though. I wouldn't want to see any flagrant fouls here in a very hotly contested game.
Antonio Petty calls the foul at midcourt. It's going to go on Javon Carter. And Ryan Boatwright will go to the line. One thing I noticed during the timeout also, Bob Huggins and some of his staff, namely Billy Hahn, who's sitting right behind him with the silver hair, were talking to Tom Eads. Let's put it that way. I'm putting it kindly. Talking to Tom Eads, the lead official, saying that they called Juwan Staten for a carrying violation. They need to call Ryan Boatwright for the same thing. So there is some gamesmanship going on.
Oh, without a doubt. So many games within the game, because we actually saw Boatwright earlier chipping at some of the players from West Virginia, and a couple of those guys like Javon Carter are from Illinois. And so sometimes, again, being Midwestern kids, you want to prove that you belong with some of the great talent from New York City. And I'm sure that that's a big part of why they've been talking back and forth to each other.
Something tells me you speak from experience, my friend.
Oh, just a little bit. Just a little bit. ball screen action with Jawan State involved in has been really good for West Virginia. They shouldn't get away from it.
10 on the shot clock. They have a whistle away from the ball, and West Virginia's going to have free throws coming.
First person, number 44, Puerto.
Foul's going to go on Purvis. And Jawan Staten steps to the line with 10 points on the night already. 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Big 12 scoring champ last year. One of the premier guards in the country that I'm so happy that the nation gets a chance to see. This kid is incredible, folks, and he gets it done. Doesn't shoot a lot of three-point shots. In fact, last year, I think he only shot around 18, certainly 720. He gets it all done in the painted area to the rim. 15-foot J's, about 49% from the field last year.
Offensive rebound, make it. West Virginia lines it up, and Javon Carter knocks it down for his first three.
Got to find Javon Carter coming off a 15-point game in the semifinals.
Here's Purvis. Still can't find the range for three, and Adrian chases it down.
I think UConn's got to turn down that three ball and put it on the deck and get to the rim. They're already in the bonus as well. Too many jump shots here early in the first half of UConn.
To shoot. Adrian forced it inside. And it's going to stay West Virginia basketball, though inbounds it under their own hoop.
And Ryan Boatwright is doing a tremendous job of keeping Jawan State, number 3 in white, away from the basketball.
And, you know, another thing we haven't mentioned, with all this chippiness going on between Boatwright and the rest of the Mountaineers, he was originally a West Virginia commit, and then decommitted 4 days later because Bob Huggins signed Jabari Hines. And there he is, with a slam, right on cue. And Make It follows the miss from State.
Well, they continue to come after that glass, don't they?
So Boatwright has 7. He and Daniel Hamilton share team high scoring honors right now with 1:38 to go. Spin move, foul from behind. And he is a warrior.
He is tough to contain. They're going to have to continue West Virginia bringing a second guy, because just when you think he's getting ready to pull up his dribble, he has the ability to hesitate, and he's so explosive. He gets to the next step so quickly.
Talked to Ricky Moore about him. I said, are you worried right now that Boatwright's going to wear himself out before the conference schedule even starts? He said he takes such phenomenal care of his body. He got in better shape this summer than he's ever been in. And they're going to monitor his minutes, but they don't worry about his minutes.
Well, you can see it. I mean, his shoulders and arms look nice and cut. I mean, you've had as many pro players that have gone from the UConn program into the NBA, and how NBA guys take care of their bodies, especially today. That certainly feels down to younger guys and filters down to young guys, and I'm sure Ryan Boatwright has been a recipient of a lot of good advice.
And Boatwright cannot understand why these free throws aren't going down. He's stuck on 7 points, 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Gary Brown, the favorite son from San Juan. Back to a 15-point bulge for the Mountaineers.
The dribble drive has been so good for West Virginia.
Under a minute to go.
I think this is the first time I've seen Daniel Hamilton actually thinking about the game. He's so much better when he's just reacting to whatever's out there. He's going to have to settle down, and I think he's thinking about those 6 turnovers that he has so far in this game. But they need him to be a big scorer for UConn if they want to claw themselves back into this game.
They're going to find Sam Cassell Jr. for the foul. He grabbed a little too much jersey as Javon Carter tried to ram press him.
Well, West Virginia puts so much pressure on your defense in the half court because their weak sides always moving and cutting. And when they make a pass, they basically run the same kind of offense that Boston College does at times, where the person who made the pass kind of dives down the lane, disappears on the weak side, and then makes a quick basket cut. That is really tough to defend, putting a lot of pressure on the defense of UConn.
So Bob Huggins pulls Juwan Staten for what could be the final 33 seconds of the half. Sam Cassell now saddled with 3 fouls, and he's on the bench. The lead up ahead to Purvis. Blocked by the side of the backboard.
And I have to think that that ankle is bothering him a little bit more than we can tell, because Rodney Purvis can really elevate, and that's where he's at his strength when he's in transition.
UConn has never led in this game. The 17th ranked Huskies are on the rope. And Page couldn't cap off what was a dominant first half for West Virginia. The Mountaineers leading 47-32 over the 17th ranked UConn Huskies. Juwan Staten leading the way with 11 points, but it's been the West Virginia pressure that has really told the tale in the first half. Let's head to the studio for the Land Rover halftime report. We are back in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the Puerto Rico Tip-Off Championship between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the UConn Huskies, ranked 17th coming in, but it's the Mountaineers with a 15-point advantage at halftime, 47-32. Back at center court alongside LaFonso Ellis, I'm Rich Hollenberg. West Virginia used a 25-12 run to end the half to maintain this 15-point edge. Turnovers are big key.
Turnovers are a huge key. When you're playing against a West Virginia team, you have to be able to control your backboard and take care of the basketball. UConn has not done that. 11 turnovers in the first half that have led to 14 points. Jonathan Holton's length and athleticism has forced UConn into several turnovers, and West Virginia's been able to take advantage in transition and sometimes even on underneath out-of-bounds plays. They've totally disrupted this UConn Husky team offensively. For UConn to get back in this game, they're going to take better care of the basketball and limit second chance opportunities.
And let's talk about the star point guards. Ryan Boatwright. Yes, he has 7 points, but he struggled in this game.
Well, they've done a great job of keeping him out of the middle of the floor, forced him to be more of a one-on-one player, have challenged his shots. And for Juwan Staten, early on in this game, UConn wanted to ice him, try to keep him to one side. But I said before, when you do that, it creates these little pocket J's for him, and he's knocked down 3 in this basketball game is ready. Already, second half, I'm looking to see if UConn will switch their coverage on Staten and try to force him to the middle of the floor.
Staten leads all scorers with 11, 15-point lead, but UConn has the ball to start the second half. There's Facey, pump fake, good. Seems like every time Kevin Facey's touched the ball, something good happens.
Oh, it has, and I'd like to see them get him more involved in the offense here in the second half. It'll put a lot more pressure on that front line of West Virginia, because their pressure is a little different when Jonathan Holton, #1 in white, is on the bench.
Almost picked off by Facey. Holton keeps it, but couldn't convert.
This is where they have to push and look for some early opportunities, UConn, before Virginia can get back and get set.
Boatwright. And the bucket. Well, there's a lot of jawing going on between the entire Mountaineer team and Ryan Boatwright, and you better believe that's probably going to continue if this keeps up.
You know how much I love the attack, the early attack in transition before the defense gets set. He's having a difficult time, Ryan Boatwright, getting some clean looks at the basket in the half court. It's going to be important for UConn to really push on missed baskets.
One part of Ryan Boatwright's game that was uncharacteristically poor in the first half was his free throw shooting. He knocks that one down there to give him 10 points on the night. But he was just 2 of 6 from the charity stripe.
He's exhorting his team right now to really buckle down and play some good D.
There's Dexter Miles. answers with a triple. And a turnover. Page, blocked by Brima.
The unforced turnovers have killed UConn in this game, but how about the big fella? I tell you what, he looks more and more like my old teammate Dikembe Mutombo, long and lanky. They actually even run a bit alike. But these, look at him go get it. The timing, incredible. But it's been the unforced errors that really plagued this UConn team. And when you're down 15, you can't afford to turn the basketball over and have empty possessions.
Here's Adrian for three. He's a three-point shooter, but he hasn't shot it from three well this season.
West Virginia's going to continue to dribble, drive, and force two to help and try to kick at the shooters.
Adrian. They whistle it off. Foul's going to go on number 12 in blue, Kent Facey. So what's at stake in this game? It's so early in the season. Well, UConn looking for its 10th consecutive win. That's the longest current win streak in Division I men's basketball. And a win here, I think, opens a lot of eyes around the nation to West Virginia basketball. I would have to think they'd make it into the top 25 in the AP.
Oh, with the way they're playing, there's no question about that. We talked about it earlier. They're my sleeper team in the Big 12. That's a good call. Nicely done by Facey. Keeping good position. Not allowing Nathan Adrian to back him underneath the basket. Really good play by the sophomore.
UConn out of bounds, but full court pressure they still have to deal with.
I thought Facey should have driven that basketball. He would have had a 2-on-1 with himself and Brima.
Here's Boatwright. They count the basket again.
The spacing right now is so much better for UConn because it allows Ryan Boatwright to do what he does, which is take you off the bounce. There's not a guard in America that can guard him one-on-one. Good move by Kevin Ollie, giving him the spacing that he needs to create.
6', 175-pound senior out of Aurora, Illinois. Back-to-back three-point plays to start the second half. And it's down to a 10-point lead for West Virginia.
Ryan Boatwright is doing a terrific job of keeping Staten away from the ball. He's shadowing him everywhere he goes.
And that's an unforced error from the West Virginia side. Dexter Miles Jr. throws it away.
That is a really good X's and O's move by Kevin Ollie. He's got Ryan Boatwright shadowing Juwan Staten all over the floor, and that's what created that turnover because Boatwright was up in the passing lane.
Samuel tried to thread the needle to Boatwright. Boatwright threw it away, but it goes out of bounds.
When UConn gets opportunities and able to get in the gap, they have to be patient once they get there and look to make efficient passes. What's happening is they're just kind of throwing the basketball. When you do that and you're playing with such chaos, you're playing into West Virginia's hands.
And UConn calls their first timeout. Well, the Huskies showing some life. They trailed by 15 at the half. They're down 10 with 17:06 to go. UConn coming back in this one, 17:06 to go in the game. Take us inside the play, Fonz.
When you have a mindset of an NBA player, you want to take away the opposing team's first option. Watch Ryan Boatwright. He's going to shadow Juwan Staten all over the floor. And the theory is if you can take the head off the snake, you can control the rest of the body. He's going to shadow him all over the floor and limit the number of catches. Kevin Holly feels if he can keep him away from the basketball, it forces them to go to their second and third options. And in doing so, it gives UConn a great ability to get back into this game. What a wonderful chess move by KO.
UConn a perfect 3 for 3 from the field and 2 for 2 from the free throw line to start this second half. Hamilton jump stop. And Facey is having himself a ball game.
I tell you, every time he catches it in and around the basket, it's been plus for UConn. I'm surprised they're not getting him involved in direct deliveries down to the low post. He's been that good.
Staten left it for Williams, who got met at the rim by Brima. And the second foul on Amita Brima.
And that's what we talked about earlier. When you catch that basketball around there with a shot blocker, you got to go into the chest because it neutralizes their ability to attack the basketball. I hate it, especially when little guys would come in there and throw their bodies and the ball into my nose. And it really deters your ability to be able to find the basketball and block it.
What is that they say? The irresistible force against the immovable object. I think that's what we just saw.
No question about it.
Williams missed the first free throw. He has 7 points in the opening half. And he missed them both. Hamilton the rebound. Here's Samuel on the left. Blocked by Williams. And blocked by Adrian. 2-on-1. That might have been a bit over-ambitious.
I think that basketball hit the backboard first, and if it hit the backboard first when UConn was looking to score, I think that's clearly a goaltending. I mean, that was a heck of an effort by Devin Williams to be able to go after it, but I thought that ball was on the backboard.
Wide open three, no good. And Brima clears.
UConn doing a much better job of finding bodies and boxing out, neutralizing West Virginia's ability to get to the offensive glass and get second chance points.
Nice. Hamilton, aggressive.
Rich, remember, we talked in the first half, every time Daniel Hamilton has the basketball against one of the front court players of West Virginia, he should take it.
Staten misses. And a whistle stops play. A 7-0 UConn run pulls them to within 6. It's 50 for West Virginia, 44 for UConn, and we still have 15:50 to go. It's a fun one. The EA Sports Maui Invitational getting underway tomorrow in beautiful Hawaii. The championship game on Wednesday at 10 p.m. on ESPN is part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic, a season-long spotlight on games that will impact the tournament. The Maui Invitational Championship, Wednesday at 10 on ESPN, and watch ESPN. And number 2, Arizona, certainly the headliner in that field.
Well, they are a dangerous team this year. Wonderful athletes who can get out in transition, but I think the key to their success is going to be who they were missing last year in Brandon Ashley, 6'8", 6'10" forward who can step out and make the long ball, can post you. He's an excellent rebounder as well.
And with San Diego State in that field, if anyone can score 50 points on them, that's a small victory. One of the best defensive teams in the nation.
Now notice, with Jonathan Holden out of the basketball game for West Virginia, UConn is having much easier time getting the basketball up the floor. West Virginia has numbers.
Here's a 2-on-1. Miles blocked by Boatwright. We don't see many defensive Sports Center top 10s, Fonz. That might be one.
There's no question about it. Wow! Did he get off the ground?
State just misses at the rim. Here's Boatwright for 3. Brima, fresh 35, knocked away.
Keep that ball up by his chin so the little fellas don't come around and take that basketball out from him.
This is when you love having a senior leader like Jawan Staten to settle things down.
He is that calming influence, doesn't he?
5 minutes gone by in what has been a thoroughly entertaining championship game here in the Puerto Rico tip-off. Staten. Brima clears.
And see, without Devin Williams in this basketball game for West Virginia and Jonathan Holden, they are not nearly as explosive on the offensive glass as they are when those two are in. This is a time for UConn. If they're going to make a run, the time is now.
Hamilton. Fight for the loose ball. And we're going to get a foul on the freshman Hamilton. UConn fans certainly don't like it. Terrence Samuel goes to the bench. Sam Cassell Jr. checking back in. And Rodney Purvis has re-entered the game for Kevin Ollie. That's a good sign. He went out early in this contest with an injured left foot. So Hamilton goes to the bench. Trying to conserve those fouls as much as possible on a team that is not very deep.
Yeah, and Rodney Purvis brings another offensive punch, something that they desperately need on UConn's side.
It was a 15-point lead for West Virginia at the half. That lead has been cut to 6.
Shoot the rock, Daxter Miles.
That's the second ugly unforced turnover from Daxter Miles.
When you can get some dribble penetration that way and get that UConn team scrambling around, you can find shots out there on the perimeter. And Daxter Miles Jr. has shown us throughout this tournament his ability to knock down long balls. He's got to stick that one.
Picked off. And Gary Brown converts the turnover into points.
Remember those long passes that we talked about in the first half? You can do it against most teams, not against West Virginia. They are too quick and long. Right now, West Virginia is really small. There's no one on this lineup right now that can guard Facey down the low block. I think UConn's missing an opportunity to get some easy offense.
Facey with the offensive rebound and the putback. Kenton Facey has 10.
I think UConn should go to him on the low block when they get down on offense. The high ball screen or the side ball screen coverage for UConn is much better here in the second half.
A lot of dribbling from Staten, but he draws the foul. It's going to go on Ryan Boatwright, his second.
Kevin Ollie has changed the coverage on that little side ball screen. Early in the game, they were icing it, keeping to one side, but with the big maybe 10 feet away from the dribbler, because Jawan Staten was steadily knocking down that 15-foot jump shot. Now they're bringing the big closer to try to corral him to get the basketball out of their hands. Good chest move there by KO.
Now Purvis goes back to the bench, as does Brima. Phil Nolan and Terrence Samuel back on the floor.
With Brima out of the game, I would drive it to the front of the rim. No rim protector in the game right now for UConn.
Macon. And Nolan draws the offensive foul.
How about the anticipation skills from a ripped and rocked Philip Nolan? Knew that he was going to turn back for that spin move and got his body perfectly positioned to observe that charge.
UConn trailing by 6. They have not shot the ball well from three-point range. Otherwise, I'd say it's a two-possession ball game.
Drive and kick and look to get it in the gap, make two help and kick. That was a really good drive by Sam Cassell Jr., but no one on the weak side. When you get a baseline drive, you also have to have an opposite side baseline drift. Samuel, number 3 in blue, was out of position up on the wing. Sam Cassell had no one to throw that basketball to. UConn fortunate they didn't turn it over.
Inbounds under their own basket for UConn. Samuel, he's really struggled mightily tonight. Nice look up ahead. Here's Carter. Short range off the window, no good. Rebound to Boatwright, who's only sat for about 2 minutes in this game.
Yeah, he thought a little long about that one. When you get that one, you just got to shoot it off the glass. You can tell it stayed in his hand about a second too long.
Boatwright put on a show getting to the cup, but came up empty.
I think right now, Rich, I think on missed baskets, West Virginia, because of their depth, should really push it in transition. I think they can get into the legs. There are a couple guys on UConn's team right now on the floor. They are sucking wind. We wondered if depth would become a factor, especially in the last 4 minutes of this game with the heavy pressure from West Virginia.
He's making. Faces up Nolan, and calmly knocks it down. 4 points for Elijah Macon.
He and Devin Williams really work on that face-up game while they were warming up today. That's a much better shot for Elijah Macon.
Samuel himself. And they call the block. Samuel looked a little out of control, but they still whistle Elijah Macon for the foul. 11:08 to go. Do we have a Sports Center highlight here or not?
How about the hang time? Go get it, little fella. Ryan Boatwright not only scoring the basketball, getting his team involved, but he's got to protect the basket too. Little fella getting it done.
Time to blow this long, so best you run for call.
Steve Weissman in studio, about 20 minutes away from another championship game. Texas transfer Sheldon McLennan averaging 12 points, 5 boards a game, leading Miami against Charlotte in the Charleston Classic. That's coming up next here on ESPN2. For now, back to Puerto Rico. Rich and Fonz.
Thank you very much, Steve. Charlotte making a habit of winning these pre-conference tournaments. They won here in Puerto Rico a year ago.
Indeed.
And that's the trophy. That's the prize at stake. With 11:08 to go, West Virginia trying to hold off the 17th-ranked UConn Huskies. The Mountaineers lead it 54-46. The EA Sports Maui Invitational getting underway tomorrow in beautiful Hawaii. Championship game on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Make sure you check that out. Maui Invitational Championship, part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic. And there's Jonathan Holton on the bench, along with Devin Williams. Little chess move by Hugs?
I certainly think it is, because remember, Bob Huggins wants to be able to pressure you full court, half court for 40 minutes. He's had the luxury of resting his entire front line, his entire starting front line here for the rush in the last 8 minutes of this game. I'm interested to see if he puts him in with under 8 after we take the 8-minute timeout. But what a luxury to have the kind of depth that we spoke of earlier to be able to rest your starting guys.
Samuel goes 1 for 2. He has 5. And the lead is now 7 for the Mountaineers. 3 guarding 3. Staten and Samuel.
I think Steve Weissman may be the best cook in all of ESPN. Have you seen some of his dishes? That kid can cook.
Here's Adrian.
Nice.
Staten. No, the follow, no good either. UConn comes away with it.
UConn's going to have to be very judicious about who they double team down the low block. I'm not sure you want to send to a Nathan Adrian and open up that weak side for a 3. They were fortunate on that play.
Ryan Boatwright getting what probably will be his only rest of the second half right now, and an offensive foul on UConn.
Well, Terrence Samuel, number 3 in blue, has been frustrated all night long. He's been able to get in point-blank range, not completing at the rim, and I think he's frustrated. He's clearly pushed off on that dribble penetration. The sophomore has to settle down. There's a lot of time left in this game, and they're only down 7.
So it's Boatwright on the bench. Let's see if Staten tries to take advantage. He does, and he gets fouled immediately. Here's Juwan Staten, who lit it up for 11 points in the first half, has been relatively quiet in the second half, going to the line right now.
Well, he's doing it. Part of that has been Boatwright. Ryan Boatwright has been shadowing him all over the floor, so he's not had any airspace. And that was a really good call by you, is seeing if he would take the next guy off the bounce.
And rolls on and off the rim. And now Ryan Boatwright quick to check right back in for Kevin Ollie's club.
Yeah, West Virginia's left a lot on the table. They are not shooting the rock from the line very well tonight, only 6 of 12. You won't leave those, you certainly don't want to leave those, because at some point, when Ryan Boatwright gets back in this game, you know UConn's going to make a run.
He is back. Staten goes 1 for 2, so he has 12 points. And I can't imagine seeing Ryan Boatwright taking a seat on the UConn bench anytime soon.
That's the first time UConn has used one of their bigs as a pressure release.
And that's the second straight offensive foul on UConn.
Well, Daniel Hamilton is a talented freshman, and he'll learn when you leave your feet, you're shooting the basketball. You should never leave your feet to pass. You got to come to a 2-footed jump stop against that pressure and find guys. At his size is 6'7", he can look over the top and find open people.
That is exactly what Kevin Ollie was telling him just now. 18 turnovers for the Huskies.
State's got to look to throw that one back. Macon is open, and Elijah Macon can make that 15-foot jump shot.
And they get Nathan Adrian for the traveling violation.
Sometimes bigs with that little shot fake, instead of keeping both feet on the floor, they like to slide it a little bit, and Nathan Adrian did exactly that.
How about this for a factor in this game? West Virginia up 8 right now. Rodney Purvis, 0 points for UConn.
Yeah, he's been injured all night long, but credit the other guys from UConn. Facey's had a really good night. They've needed someone to step up. I'll tell you what, if Purvis can hit one, or Cassell, it'll be huge for the confidence offensively for UConn.
Off the back rim for Cassell. And we have another UConn foul.
See, people have to realize with this UConn team gone is Shabazz Napier, gone, DeAndre Daniels, Niels Giffey, Chroma, Olander. I mean, some guys who really gave you tremendous leadership out on the floor. And I think one of the most valuable ones was Niels Giffey, because his ability to stretch the defense. They don't have a guy right now that can consistently stretch the defense the way that he has. And now it's a dribble drive game, most of their offense inside of the three-point arc. And I think that really hurts this team right now.
State steady at the line. Well, here are the key departures. Of course, everybody knows about the exploits of Shabazz Napier, but like you mentioned, DeAndre Daniels and Niels Giffey, veteran leadership, glue guys for this UConn team.
And DeAndre Daniels, another, can step outside the three-point line and knock it down, which stretches that defense even more, making it more susceptible to the dribble drive. Now teams can kind of back off and play in the painted area. That's why Ryan Boatwright has had such a tough time. Look at that, of getting into the painted area.
Harvard almost took it away. Cassell misses another jumper, and Facey follows, and a follow slam by Phil Nolan. Phil Nolan's been a contributor this second half.
Yes, he has. And as dominant on the board. Here comes those guys. We said they were coming. As dominant as West Virginia has been on the boards, UConn is winning the rebound battle so far in this game.
Fonzie were off by about 55 seconds. They're coming in before the 8-minute mark. Holton and Williams. Nice follow by their counterpart, though, Elijah Macon.
Love the decision by Macon. Knows that he's got a guy a little bit lighter in the pants and pushes him under the rim and gets the offensive rebound.
Cassell takes it strong to the hoop, gets the foul. It's going to go on Elijah Macon. 8:29 to go. West Virginia holding UConn at bay, 58-49.
Well, I thought earlier that Bob Huggins would wait until the 8-minute timeout to put those two guys back in the game. They've sat for a long time tonight and will be fresh to go. And that's what it's about. He knows that some teams will be able to stay close early, but he wants to continue to grind you with that full and half-court pressure, thinking he has the depth to make you tired and run you out of the gym with the last 4 minutes to go.
Cassell the miss at the charity strike.
Yeah, it should have been a two-shot foul. It should have been a two-shot foul.
And that does allow Holton and Williams to check back in.
And hats off to Macon and Nathan Adrian. They did a phenomenal job of holding down the fort. Both guys doing a great job on the defensive end, helping their guards on dribble penetration, and did a nice job on the offensive end as well.
Sell 1 for 2. He has 5 points. And it's an 8-point West Virginia lead. Starting front court back for the Mountaineers.
I know why Huggins put them in at this point. He wanted them to get a little lather before the 8-minute timeout so that they're not coming out cold. Good try.
Skating on Boatwright. Spin cycle.
What a move.
15 for the senior.
Look at how the pressure amps up with #1 in white is on the floor.
Right, head at the baseline by Williams. UConn looks out of sync. There's State. Here's the push. Missed, but got fouled.
Did you see that crossover change of direction move by Staten? Woo.
That foul's going to be on number 44, Rodney Purvis. It's Staten getting some taps in the West Virginia huddle, mostly because of this move.
Jawan Staten is deadly off the bounce, and how about hitting the break, skirt, and a little spin around and shooting it from where he does. This kid is incredible, 15 and in, and the nice high arc and knocks it down for the Mountaineers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the Puerto Rico Tourism Company. Live your own 5-vacation story in Puerto Rico, the All-Star Island. And Burger King's 2 for $5 menu. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for just $5.
Steve Weissman back in studio. About 9.5 minutes till tip. Angel Rodriguez leading Miami against Charlotte in the Charleston Classic final. Coach Larinaga says Angel's leadership manifests itself in so many different ways. See how it works out tonight against Charlotte. For now, back to Rich and Fonz. Fonz, I got you a nice meal next time.
Beth, say that again.
Monday, Joe Flacco and the Ravens visit the Superdome to take on Drew Brees and the Saints. That's Monday at 8:15 on ESPN and Watch ESPN. Monday Night Football. No other night is Monday night. Ravens returning to the scene of their Super Bowl victory to take on New Orleans.
How about that? But I still say, man, Jimmy Graham's one of the best in the National Football League. He needs to get touches early and often if they're hoping to have a chance against the Ravens.
Might be his agent.
Oh, no question. Well, what happened is when I first started working at ESPN and I was doing some of the Miami games, I got a chance to know him while we were down there. Because remember, he's a two-sport guy. He played a little hoop, too.
That's right. It's Tom Eads and Bob Huggins, 2 veterans in their respective professions. Huggs has been at it 33 years now, 744 wins, and I don't think I'm overselling it when I say that 745 will go down as a special one for him if they can pull this one off. West Virginia, it's been a long time since they've won against a ranked team away from Morgantown. As a matter of fact, it was number 13 Georgetown that went down at the hands of the Mountaineers January 8th, 2011.
Wow.
Staten makes them both count. He has 17. That's a game high.
Here comes that pressure with fresh legs. Now you got to attack. Got numbers.
Vote right to lob. Brima the finish.
Love the attack when you get past that first wave.
It's amazing how he can look so difficult on one possession and so easy on another.
I think West Virginia can get that ball into Jonathan Holton down on the low post with Facey, I think he's got a little bit of advantage down there.
7 minutes to go in this championship game. State misses the jumper.
There's Holton.
There's Holton getting his hands on a loose ball again.
I tell you, that pressure is so different when Holton is on the floor. He's so cat quick with long arms, and he has unbelievable anticipation skills.
Short.
Yeah, settling for the J right now, West Virginia. They got to put that thing on the deck and try to get to the rim or throw it in the post to Holton.
Up and in. Sam Cassell Jr.'s second field goal of the game. He has 7, and that cuts the West Virginia lead to 8.
Yeah, I love what both teams are doing right now. Both teams are trying to get out early and trying to get to the rim before the defense gets set. And you can't, once you make a layup, you can't relax against this West Virginia team because they love throwing that thing out there and trying to get early opportunities. Jawan's taking a little break after running into the stanchion there. Glad he's okay. I do think as the athletes get stronger, faster, and more athletic, I don't know how they can do it, but they're going to have to think about moving those baskets back a little further. I don't know how many times now we've seen guys run into them, even at the collegiate level.
18 now for State.
It's been as good as advertised.
That one move where he got Boatwright back on his heels and did a little spin cycle. That'll be one they remember. Staten's made his last 4 free throws to give him 19 for the game.
A substitution here, bringing Daxter Miles Jr., number 4 in white, into the game. He's scored some nice buckets here from West Virginia, so they do get a little drop off, but not much, because you leave him open, he can knock down a shot, and he's really good off the bounce. I think you got to get Boatwright involved in some ball screen action right here.
Boatwright almost came right into our laps just now at this broadcast table. It's going to be out of bounds, and Sam Cassell Jr. will inbounds.
Yeah, some ball screens, or use him as a screener to allow him to get some airspace to get open.
Statistician Drew breathing a sigh of relief right now. 10 on the shot clock for the Huskies. Javon Carter in Boatwright's jersey. Tough shot. Samuel picks it up. Here's Cassell.
Wow, they cannot hit it from the three-point strike tonight.
They have been miserable from 3.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. The lack of a three-points marksman, something that they've had for 4 years with Niels Giffey.
That's going to be a foul on West Virginia. Well, as bad as UConn has been, and we're talking 2 for 15 from beyond the arc, it seems like West Virginia has knocked down a key bucket whenever they needed it. That one was there from Gary Brown.
Indeed, there's, again, a lot of time left here. 5:08 on the clock, only down 13. Boatwright knocks down 2 here. Gets it to 11 on the defensive end. They're going to have to be careful. West Virginia right now, their attack is putting it on the deck, trying to get in the gaps and forcing you to help in kicking. And so what happens is your weak side has to be early. So as soon as that basketball leaves the passer's hands, that you can get out and contest the jump shot. They didn't do that last time. That's why Gary Brown was able to get a wide open look from the left corner and knock it down.
Kent Facey gets a big round of applause as he goes to the bench. He's put in yeoman-like work.
It's been so good. Again, I've been surprised that they haven't thrown it down to him on the interior and let him go to work. Anytime he's gotten it around the rim, he scored.
Boatwright has 8 in this half, 15 for the game. Starting to get into the danger zone for UConn. 5 minutes left. They trail by 11.
Mismatch inside with Holton. They should look at it.
Miles! So much for that. Back-to-back threes for the Mountaineers.
Wow, they cannot UConn make a jump shot right now. If I'm West Virginia right now, I am running some clock. They've shown the ability to get dribble penetration at any time and then look to kick it. But I do think Jonathan Holton can take any of the guards that UConn has. They're playing a 4-guard lineup. Jonathan Holton has the mismatch down in the low box.
10 on the shot clock. Williams, no quit in him. He goes down, but he's whistled for the foul. Stark contrast when it comes to three-point shooting, and that might ultimately tell the tale in this game. UConn 2 for 15. West Virginia 6 for 16.
The inability to knock down open looks. You can't get any better looks than UConn's gotten tonight. They've just not been able to knock them down. They were hoping that Daniel Hamilton could become that three-point marksman that they desperately need.
And what's interesting about that is coming in, it was just the opposite. West Virginia was shooting only 28% from three-point range compared to UConn's 36%.
Yeah, but you and I got a chance to see Javon Carter and Daxter Miles Jr., who essentially took the game over in the second half in Friday's game, knocking down timely buckets from the perimeter for the Mountaineers.
Foul trouble for the Mountaineers. Devin Williams now has 4. Holton on the floor, grabs the rebound off the free throw miss.
There's an area of Daniel Hamilton's game he's got to work on. It's the free throws, because he's going to get there an awful lot because of his versatility. Smart move, using as much clock as you can, because again, UConn has not shown the ability to stop the dribble drive here in the second half. Nice job on Boatwright.
Here's Cassell.
If they can just make one jump shot.
And there's Boatwright doing what he does. 17 for the senior. West Virginia led it by 15 at the half. They lead it by 11 with 3:11 to go. And Bob Huggins uses one of his 4 remaining timeouts. Timeout on the floor, we'll take one with them. 3:11 to go. West Virginia looking for a pre-conference tournament championship.
This is West Virginia basketball this year, because they've got some guys that are starting to knock down some three-point shots. The dribble drive into the gap, and when it's not there, they've been able to make the extra pass. And the guys that have been coming to the rescue have been Daxter Miles Jr. He's knocked down one. And when you get Gary Brown drilling 3, now all of a sudden, all of that defense that's usually in the lane has to space out to cover shooters, and that opens up dribble drive game, and that's where West Virginia excels.
Well, it doesn't get any easier for the Huskies when they leave San Juan on November 30th. Just a scant few days away, they'll be taking on the Texas Longhorns, who I know you're high on. Then in December, they have to play Duke. And then in January, they have to play at Florida in a Final Four rematch. None of those are going to be fun for the Huskies, although knowing Kevin Ollie and company, they relish that type of competition.
Without a doubt, and with Louisville leaving the American Conference, they're going to have to do something to raise their RPI, because certainly with Louisville leaving, now all of a sudden you don't have those great quality wins at the end of the year. I think that was a smart move by Kevin Ollie. Kevin Ollie trying to play the most difficult teams on the road that he could to try to raise that RPI.
Coming up next on ESPN2, the final from the Charleston Classic, Miami of Florida. Jim Larranaga's club taking on Charlotte, who won here in the Puerto Rico tip-off a year ago.
How about that?
State
Continue to milk that clock, and I wouldn't try to get in any action until around the 10-second mark on the shot clock.
And West Virginia's in the double bonus, so they're shooting 2 free throws every time. UConn's
going to have to protect that backboard, though, because West Virginia's going to send 4.
5 on the shot clock. Staten off the window. 21 for Juwan Staten. Samuel lost it. Boatwright. Three-pointer from Daniel Hamilton, his second 3 of the night.
Now that's big, because if Daniel Hamilton can get on the roll here and they can get some stops, there's only a 10-point lead. It'll give them some much-needed confidence, because UConn has not been able to buy a bucket from the perimeter in the second half. Got you in a little conundrum right here with Terrence Samuel out there, because you get up close to him, then he can blow by, and he's one of the best that little pull-up jump shot in the lane in the country.
7 on the shot clock. Leaves it for Macon. Macon, right hook, no good.
Brian altered that shot.
Puts his head down and loses the ball, and they're saying it went off a leg. It's going to be UConn basketball when we come back. 1:41 to go. That's all that separates West Virginia from the Puerto Rico tip-off championship. .141 to go. That's all that stands between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Puerto Rico tip-off championship. They lead UConn 72-62. Fonz, let's take a look at tonight's performance run of the game, brought to you by Royal Purple.
Well, Bob Huggins told us that he felt he has the depth, the length, and the athleticism to be able to pressure you for 40 minutes. And wow, have they done it here. They've been out in the passing lanes, getting steals and finishing in transition. No different than tonight. They have 11 steals and have 17 points off of those steals. They've been phenomenal with their pressure, both in the full court and the half court. UConn's had a tough time dealing with the pressure tonight.
And if you like defense, then you've seen a little bit of history here, because West Virginia set the record in the Puerto Rico Tip-Off Classic for steals cumulatively in a 3-game tournament here. 37 steals over the course of 3 games.
How about that?
They blitzed George Mason by 26 in the first round. They got past BC after trailing by double digits in the semifinals. Whew.
Look at the defense there.
Oh, what a tough shot by Hamilton.
Indeed. Much needed for UConn. I would use Boatwright more as a decoy right here in the second half. I would use Boatwright a little bit more as a decoy here in the latter part of this game. Get some dribble penetration and look to kick to Hamilton, who can make the 3.
Is there any hesitation in saying that West Virginia should try to take the air out of the ball, knowing that they are practicing every day, playing every game at a breakneck 40-minute-a-game type of speed, to ask that same team to slow it down? Does that give you any pause?
Oh, not at all, because remember, with the pressure, they're creating turnovers and getting out in transition. But I think you've seen on several occasions tonight, especially in the second half, Juwan Staten has been brilliant getting that basketball over half court, being patient and waiting. He knows you can't take it from him anyway, one-on-one, and bleeding that clock. So it's going to force UConn to not only trap in the full court, but they're going to have to trap in the half court as well to try to get the basketball out of his hands, to allow their wings to try to get some steals and get some easy buckets.
We already talked about UConn's schedule. When West Virginia opens up Big 12 play, they're on the road in Texas, at TCU and at Texas Tech. And Fonz, following that, 3 straight games: Iowa State, Oklahoma, at Texas. We'll learn a lot about the Mountaineers in the first week or so of Big 12 play.
I tell you, don't sleep on TCU. They're going to be much improved. They're starting 5s all back this year. Kean Anderson, one of the explosive little guys in that Big 12 conference, manning the point guard position for TCU.
throws good from Javon Carter. He's had a much quieter night tonight than he did in the semifinals, where he went off for 15 points against Boston College. But free throw there is key.
His partner in crime from that same game was been Daxter Miles Jr. Both of those guys, if they're not doing it with their offense, they've been terrific on the defensive end. He's now the one that's keeping both backs from getting the basketball. Carter can really move his feet. So I think you got to drive it now and try to bring Hamilton over to the basketball on the help.
And it looks like there was a UConn timeout. And Javon Carter got to be pulled away from the team.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful. Boatwright tried to go up with a little shot after there was a dead ball, and you know, I wouldn't give any ground either, because you think you hear a whistle and you don't contest the basketball, and all of a sudden you give up a shot to a guy who can score a lot of buckets very quickly.
We mentioned at the top of the telecast that UConn owns the top Division I win streak in college basketball right now, dating back to that run to the national championship. That stands at 9, and that is in peril right now with 13 seconds to go in this timeout and only 1:10 left in this ballgame.
It's been UConn. I think they've done a terrific job on the boards against a West Virginia team that sends 4 guys to the glass. The key to the game for them in the second half has been their inability to make a jump shot. They've not made a 3, with the exception of the one Daniel Hamilton finally knocked down, and they've not been able to make a 15 to 7-footer either. So their inability to shoot the basketball from the perimeter is what's gotten them in this hole.
3 for 16 from three-point range. Only 9 for 18 from the free throw line as well, as we see Samuel finish at the rim. And the quick foul sends Gary Brown to the line.
And if there's anybody that you want to foul, it'd be Gary Brown. He's only 50% from the free throw line coming into this game, so good recognition there by UConn knowing who to foul on the floor, because you certainly don't want to foul Staten.
And a little more credit to a Hall of Fame caliber coach in Bob Huggins. He has 7 newcomers on this team to go along with the 6 kids returning. 3 of those were JUCO players who you never really know what you're going to have until you put them into your lineup and see what they can do and how they mix. And so far, so good. They're about to improve to 5-0, and this is from a team who hasn't had a 20-win season since 2011.
Yeah, and to your point, one of the weaknesses from last year, Coach Huggins shared with me, was they couldn't defend and couldn't rebound, but now he's brought in some guys who can. This looks like a Bob Huggins team, long, speedy, with some experience.
Those 2 free throws put him back up by 10. Cassell way off the mark. Williams tracks it down.
They just can't make a basket.
And the West Virginia faithful are at full throat. Holt misses the 3. Williams gets the offensive rebound. A fitting end to a Puerto Rico tip-off championship for Jawan Staten and the rest of the West Virginia Mountaineers. Holton with the exclamation point. Samuel at the other end. This will be Bob Huggins' first win over Kevin Ollie. And a couple of old Big East foes battle again in San Juan, and West Virginia comes out on top. West Virginia's 5-0, UConn's 3-1. The Mountaineers are Puerto Rico tip-off champions. The final score is 78-68 over the 17th ranked Huskies. That'll do it for us here in Puerto Rico. For my broadcast partner, LaFonso Ellis, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Now, we send you to the Gildan Charleston Classic Championship game.